Over the past couple of years, we've seen a huge trend of double stack 1911s and 2011s in the gun industry, and rightfully so. They're great guns and they have a lot of aftermarket support. But you have your option from everything from super mild, sub $1,000 Turkish imports all the way up to over $6,000 fully custom built. Where is the balance? Where do you actually get what you're paying for versus you're paying for a name or you're paying for features that you don't really need? We're going to talk about that a little bit in today's review. So let's go ahead and get into it. Thanks for tuning in to the Holt Center YouTube channel. On the note of the intro there, today we are checking out the Bones Defense Pro Shop Alpha Foxtrot Romulus. So Alpha Foxtrot is a company based out of Georgia. They are making these Romulus pistols, which is a double stack 1911. It's got the frame with the grip module that's separate, and then the slide. And this is specifically the Romulus 4 1/4 comp. Okay, so let's go ahead. Let's get this thing out on the range for a little while. We're going to break it down in the studio and really talk about the specs and the features. I appreciate you guys watching. Let's get into it. All right, y'all, we're back from the range, checking out the Bones Pro Shop Romulus comp. Now, this is a Alpha Foxtrot Romulus comp, as we talked about earlier, that Bones Defense has taken, and let's say they have added some good parts, good internals to it to make it go from a decent pistol to an awesome pistol. So let's go ahead, get to the top-down view, and we will really dive into this thing and talk about it. Okay, so we're on the top-down view now. Let's dive into this thing. What is the Alpha Foxtrot Romulus? Well, the Romulus is a 2011 style or double stack 1911 style pistol that Alpha Foxtrot is making. And for those of you that don't know, Alpha Foxtrot is owned by a South Korean company, but they're based out of Georgia. So allegedly, they do some manufacturing in both places. I'm not sure exactly how it works with this specific pistol, but they do manufacture some parts in the U.S. I'm not sure what they do manufacture in the U.S., but I do know they also manufacture parts in South Korea. So this Romulus comp, it starts out as a 4 1/4 inch slide with a full-length dust cover frame and this 3/4 inch single chamber comp here. So it's a single chamber with 2 ports, one on each side. Really kind of acts like a single port when you look at it that way. This one specifically comes with an MOS cut. They do offer a couple of different optic cut options. So this one's an MOS cut, but it's kind of a modified MOS cut because it also has the rear sight built in to the optic plate, as you see right there. Now, the slide, the frame, and the barrel are all 416 stainless steel. So this thing has good bones, right? It has good bones to start. And then the other thing that's really neat about it is the slide, the frame, and the barrel are all DLC coated. DLC coating, if you don't know, is one of the best coatings that you can get on the market right now. It's super, super slick, and it's extremely hard to show wear. So I've had this thing in and out of a holster the whole review. The owner of Bones Defense has shot this thing for over 2,500 rounds, plus the 500-ish rounds that I put through it for the review. It's actually probably closer to 700 rounds by the time you count the match that I shot with it. So the start of the pistol is a pretty good setup. You got a pretty good slide material, frame material, and barrel material, awesome coating. It's optic cut. It's got this extended slide catch here, slide release slide catch, all out of the box. And the MSRP on this thing and the factory configuration is about 16. So it's pretty close to the 16 mark. So with those quality materials, it competes very well with other 1911s or 2011 style pistols in the same price range. It competes very well when you look at the features that it has. And then also the fit and finish. This thing has over 3,000 rounds on it now. Probably even more than that, but we'll just say over 3,000 just to be safe. And this thing is a very tight pistol. There is hardly any movement in that slide to frame fit, and then in the barrel fit as well. You can barely feel the slightest bit of movement. So this thing is fit very well from the factory to be what it is, to be in the price point that it's in. But then Bones Defense says, hey, I don't like the fact that it has MIM internals. I don't like the fact that it has, probably not the best grip and probably not the best trigger on it. So let's throw all that junk stuff out and let's put some quality parts in it. So he gets rid of all the MIM parts, all the bad parts, and he puts some high quality internals in this thing. So like I said, it's the Romulus 4 1/4 comp with the MOS slide from the factory, and then he takes and he puts an EGW sear, an EGW disconnector. He puts these Atlas shielded ambi safety on it, which also is DLC coded, so it matches the frame and the slide very good. And then it has the Atlas X-Line trigger, so you see this skinny trigger bow here, but it's also adjustable. It's got the 2 screws there so you can adjust it, and it has very, very little pre-travel. We'll talk a little more about the trigger here in a second. So then he also does, if you guys recognize this is a Prodigy grip module. He takes off that Romulus grip module, or that Alpha Foxtrot grip module that looks kind of wonky and it has really bad texturing on it. And he puts these Prodigy grip modules on. These are actually pretty good grip modules. They have good grip, and then they're a little smaller around than most double stack 1911 grip modules are. Then he puts the EGW magwell on it that's made specifically for the Prodigy grip. And then I'll put this kind of towards the light so you can see. Fits pretty well. It's kind of got a little lip in there, but it's really not noticeable. And then he takes this with all the new parts that he's put in it, and he polishes and he fits, and he does a good trigger job on them. So speaking of the trigger job, let's go ahead and talk about it now. I'm going to break out my Wheeler trigger gauge, and let's go ahead and get a good pull. £2 pounds, 8 ounces, 2.5 pounds on the money. Reset this. If you noticed, I'm not having to pin the grip safety because it's already pinned. That in there. 2 pounds, 3 ounces. And then the last one here, 2 pounds, 12 ounces. So that makes an average for exactly a 2.5 pound pull. Exactly a 2.5 pound average, which is exactly where I want, I don't know how you guys feel about it, but it's exactly where I want my 1911 or 2011 trigger to be. It's got just a little bit of pre-travel here, which you can actually take that out with the adjustment. You get on the wall, super crisp, just like a 1911 should be. There's barely any movement on the wall, and then it's crisp break, and then the reset, boom, right there. It almost pushes you back out to the reset. It's really good. I'm a really big fan of his trigger job here. He does a really good job. And then here's the other thing. Here's the kicker. The way that Bones Defense sells it from the pro shop, he also adds this Holosun 507 comp on top of it. So now you have all these internals, everything ready to go, plus the optic. So he throws the optic in with the package and everything, and it's ready to go. One thing I don't want to forget too, before I get too far, is it also has this EGW lightened hammer. So you can see there, he takes the factory hammer out and puts this in, fits this in, and that helps with the trigger job as well. that's going to wrap this up for the top-down view. Let's push the camera back out and continue talking about my experience with this pistol. Okay, so we've gone over all the specs and features. Let's talk about reliability. That's a super important thing whenever you start talking about budget-friendly 19 and 2011. Okay, reliability was absolutely 100%. 100%. I had 0 malfunctions, 0 stoppages. I ran my Atlas magazines, and I also ran some SV body magazines, and all of them ran great. I didn't have a single reliability issue at all with this pistol, and I am well over the 500. I'm probably closer to 700 rounds. I didn't exactly count because I actually shot this in a USPSA match. If you haven't already seen in some of the footage, I shot this in a USPSA match, and I shot pretty good with it. I shot better than I expected to. Now, this is the first time that I've ever shot open in any division and or in any type of match, and this is only the second time I've ever shot a USPSA match. I ended up finishing about 18th out of 88 shooters with this gun. This gun did not hold me back at all. Obviously, I have some skill development that I need to continue working, but this gun shot fantastic in both training, testing, and shooting the match. It shot fantastic, guys. The recoil impulse on this thing, and I don't know if this is just the comp or if it's because the gun is tuned and it's got a great trigger job, and the slide to frame fit is just so nice, and the barrel fit is just so nice. Guys, this thing just returns right back where it's supposed to be. So it's also probably sprung correctly. That's a big part of that as well with most pistols. But guys, this thing shoots lights out. I've shot groups at 25 yards. I shot groups at 40 yards. I shot groups all over the place, and it shoots great. It shoots all sorts of different types of ammo great. Now, one thing it did not like my 147 grain hand loads, but those are made for my STI, and they shoot really good out of my STI. As far as reliability, it shot them great, and the recoil impulse was phenomenal with those because they're about a 130 power factor, but they did not group great. I shot about a 6-inch group at about 35-40 yards, and everything else was shooting about a 2 to 3-inch group. So that's just that specific load. That specific ammo did not shoot well out of this gun. However, you heard what I said. Everything else was about a 2 or 3-inch group at 35 yards. We'll just say 35 yards because I didn't have my laser rangefinder out there at the range that day, and I was just shooting groups just to see how it would do. Reliability's there, accuracy there, shootability as far as return to zero and comfort shooting. And I even shot this in the USPSA match. I had to shoot some strong hand only and support hand only, so it went really well. I didn't have any issues with either of those. Guys, I don't know that anybody else on the market, for the price point that this thing is at, is making a competitor to this gun. Now, that Bones Defense is also doing the same thing with the 5-inch non-comped model as well as the 4 1/4 non-comped model. So he has a lot of different options. You can find the flavor that fits you. Really, I don't have anything bad to say about this pistol. I probably wouldn't have selected the Prodigy grip module because the Prodigy grip module isn't exactly my favorite, but I understand why he did it. The Prodigy grip module is a little smaller around than some other grip modules, which I already said that in this video, but it fits some people's hands. It fits most people's hands better than most 2011 grip modules. If I was to choose for myself, I would probably put a stainless steel Chile grip on this thing, but at the same time, that's going to make the price point go up. Speaking of the price point, as it comes from the Bones Pro Shop, this is right at 25, right at 2,500. So let's compare it to a Staccato XC, for example, because I have actually shot a Staccato XC before. This thing shoots equal to, if not better, than the Staccato XC, and half the price. Less than half the price, I'm pretty sure. Throwing that kind of money around is not anything for the faint of heart, right? You are spending quite a bit of money to get to this point. So, but if you were to take something like one of the Turkish imports and you have some cheaper material, some less durable coatings, and you're looking around the same price point for the base pistol, and then have all this work done to it, you're spending about the same amount of money, and you don't have the good structure. You don't have the stainless steel slide and frame and barrel with the DLC coating on all three of those parts. Guys, Bones Defense knocked this one out of the park. He took a decent pistol from Alpha Foxtrot and made it a great pistol. This thing is fantastic. I am trying not to just hype this thing up. You guys that know me know that I don't just put out dishonest reviews and just hype things up just to say that they're good. I am genuinely thinking about buying one of these pistols, not the comp model, probably a 5-inch or 4 1/4 inch, but I'm genuinely thinking about getting one of these for myself because I enjoyed shooting this thing so much. It would be awesome for me to use it for like a limited optics gun, or if I decide I want to move up to modified and 3-gun, then I'll have an Optic 2011 ready to go. It's pretty hard to beat at the price point. Did I say that already? Anyways, Bones Defense, thank you so much for sending this thing out to me to check out and review. I really appreciate it. Guys, go check the pinned comment. Follow them on social media. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Like the video. Comment down below and let me know what you think about this. And let me know what other reviews or what other videos you want to see in the future. I appreciate you guys watching. God bless and hold center.